After recent discoveries that improve each lap by about 1 full second, the Mario Bros. Circuit time trial strategy has gotten a complete makeover, making it challenging but very interesting and engaging to play. It's not the most tech-skilly track, but demands poise, confidence, and boldness. Any slight hesitation or lack of aggression on certain turns, tricks, and strats will force you to press plus, down, then A. This is intended to be a very in-depth guide to the full time trial sequence and strategy, and I'll be teaching you some do's and don'ts based off my own learning experience and discoveries on the track from playing it the past few days. So let's begin. Off the start, release a charge jump into the sign, allowing you to fly over the tires. By the way, aim to make contact around the second eye on the Luigi sign. You'll get different results based off your angle of approach and charge jump release timing. Ideally, you'll sail over the tires and around the rock, and with a trick in the air, you'll land quickly on the rail with a boost. But with a slightly different approach angle and or charge jump release timing, you'll slide off the wall, losing a negligible amount of time. Here are my inputs for the approach. Hold left off the start boost, and hop once the bike leaves the checkerboard starting line. When you're in the dirt and just about to meet road again, steer left while you're in your charge. And notice the handlebars on the bike to tell which direction I'm inputting. Then steer back to the right, ultimately aiming the bike to bump into the sign at the second eye in Luigi, or even the T in tires. Here's a side-by-side comparison of the best outcome and the second best. Hop off the pipe after the last pipe link-looking thingy, and then land in the dirt. Wait until you hit road before starting the next drift to allow your boost to get you back up to speed. This mini-turbo needs to come out very fast. I suggest you wiggle the stick back and forth twice to charge fast while maintaining good alignment. Release the mini-turbo as soon as it's ready and trick onto the rail, and make sure you input R or ZR when the bike is fully into the dark black road texture. The correct timing for this is much earlier than you would think, and look, the trick animation starts before the bike even touches the rail. To go fast in this section, you'll want to perform tricks just before your current boost runs out. So for this dismount, you can use the metal brace on the rail here as a visual cue to left trick off. When the rail here dips down to the ground, wait as late as you can before tricking to get lower airtime. Finally, dismount with a right trick at the last bit of metal road. Here's where the track starts to demand fearlessness. Drift up to the first turn, soft drifting and wiggling the stick once during the drift for alignment. Release the mini-turbo, wait a split second, then input a trick while holding the stick completely neutral. Again, crank the mini-turbo fast, but make sure you allow some space between the mini-turbo release and the edge trick input. Immediately after tricking, land in a semi-soft drift, or hard right depending on your exiting position, and commit to that stick angle fully until you get the next mini-turbo. Then release it immediately. Again, allow a split second before the edge trick input, then press R to get the trick while keeping the stick completely neutral. While you're getting used to doing these edge tricks, you will be scared, and you'll often not be close enough to get the trick, or you'll get the trick but sail wide for the next part. But over time, you'll get better after realizing there is no playing it safe if you want to do these edge tricks fast. While charging the following Rainbow Mini-Turbo, once again use wiggle drifting to charge fast while maintaining a good line. And now that we're at the end of this big turn, I'll explain why you've been needing to execute those edge tricks and the preceding mini-turbos very fast. You want this Rainbow Mini-Turbo boost to last as long as possible, which means you want it charged as soon as you can. If you were slow on the execution earlier, you won't benefit from the entire Rainbow Mini-Turbo boost, and sometimes you'll run out of time to even complete the full charge before you need to approach the next turn. Next is another difficult edge trick. Depending on your approach from the last turn, either drive straight off the edge or tap slightly left beforehand, then input R only when the bike is completely off the ramp. Keep holding R and immediately soft drift left, wiggling the stick a few times on your way to get the mini turbo and release it into the next rail. Release it just before getting on the rail, then right trick off the rail at its highest point, about when your bike's wheel is over the little metal brace on the rail. This is where we set up for the shroom cut, and the setup can often require more finesse than the cut itself. When right tricking off the rail, immediately snap the stick left for the full duration of the trick animation, then back right once the animation completes. This left input in midair allows you to get over the rail that you almost are about to land on, though very often the rail's gravity will still try and suck you into it, even though you fly over it. Expect to lose a lot of runs here to you appearing to get over the rail, only for the game to magnetize you to it unexpectedly. Now, land in a charge jump and steer right, then left. Shroom at or just before the orange off-road dirt, aiming your bike around this tuft of grass against the wall, or between it and the tuft just to the right of it. Left trick, up top. And if your alignment is perfect, land and either shake or input R to get an important trick off the red metal lying on the ground. If you didn't scrape the rock wall while tricking on your way up, you'll either land wide right and not be able to get the ground trick, or you won't get enough height, forcing you to restart. Whether you get the trick or not, approach the end of the platform by aiming your bike towards the leftmost white triangle that's painted on the wooden ramp. Just before driving over the wooden ramp, steer left with the intention of colliding with the very tip of the rail to your left, that little black tippy part at the very end of it. When your bike finally touches the wooden ramp, shake your controller while continuing holding left on the stick to buffer an instant left trick detach from the rail. Do not try and time a manual R input for this trick. You should absolutely buffer it with a shake. If you steer into the rail too soon, you'll bonk off of it and get sent far to the right. Land on the green pipe and trick off it when you're at the midpoint between the last and the middle braces. Land on the road as far to the right as you can in a charge jump. Hold neutral and wait just a split second, then steer left and left trick into the Luigi tires sign just before you would hit dirt. Try and release the charge jump the latest possible frame before your bike would bonk against the sign. After releasing the charge jump left trick, flick the stick to the right as fast as you possibly can, and right trick in the air and onto the rail if you are fast enough on the input. This is extremely tough to get down and will take a lot of attempts, and lots of times you either won't get the air trick, or you'll land on the dirt and lose a lot of speed and time. If that happens, here's a little backup strat if you hit dirt but want to try and keep the run going. If you're very low on speed once you get to the pipe, try and left trick onto the rock wall, slide off, and air trick left. Again, this is overall slower, but if you're just looking to continue a run or set a time, this can be a nice backup. For laps 2 and 3, right trick off this rail while you're still on the upsloped part of it, instead of just staying on it the whole time. And for the ending of lap 3, buffer the shake trick detach off the rail as usual, then left trick again. Slide off the wall and trick before hitting the ground. This lets you squeeze out just a little bit more boost for the end than landing on the green pipe again. And there's Mario Bros. Circuit, as I know it up to this point. Subscribe for more, maybe?